What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 21st day of July, and here we are, 22 hours, 42 minutes into, or left in the new day. 117.2K is the price, and we did have, I think, a really good setup for what last week closed on. Now, don't get me wrong. It looks bearish, right? That's a bearish looking candle at the top. And typically, we don't actually get candles like that when we're breaking out, right? Or if and when we do get candles like that, we actually start to move down for weeks, for months at a time. And we just got to new all-time highs. Damn it, I don't want to wait for weeks or months. But hear me out. I don't think it's going to be weeks or months. I think by the end of this week, we will come back up and close green and probably even close back above 118, if not 120K. We very well could even be at new all-time highs by the end of this week. But first, the shakeout. The shakeout's coming, okay? I think that at some point in this week, maybe over the next 3 days, it is Monday. It's a brand new week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe at some point over the next 3 days, if not today itself, this week's going to look very brutal. It's going to pull back. It's going to look like we've got some kind of rejection, a top-looking kind of scenario, and then coming up to the end of the week, we're going to reverse it and come all the way back up. Perhaps the Gap boys are actually going to win this one. Not that Bitcoin is required. Why isn't it pulling up? Not that Bitcoin's required to fill this gap, but it does like to fill its gaps most of the time. I think that the Gap squad is going to have a win on this one. We'll see. Monday. Let's get it here. Hold on. If it would just load. 1, 2, 3. Nope, that didn't work. It normally does. You guys got any good jokes? Anybody? I can play guitar. I could do that again. I found a guitar pick. I haven't played with a guitar pick in a long time. I actually learned with a guitar pick because I thought that was better, and I think it is better to a certain degree. But it's good to know both. And then I started losing my picks, and it was like maybe I should just learn how to play with my fingers. So I learned how to play with my fingers. But anyways, I'll play you guys a song another time. We're loading right now. Maybe at the end of the video. Okay. 117.5K. I'll play you a song at the end of the video. How about that? If you're just here for the music, go ahead and skip to the end. 117.5K right now. CME is open. Futures are open, right? It is technically Monday. 19 hours, 49 minutes left UTC time. It is Monday. If we were to fill this gap, that would imply that we go down to 114K, guys. 114K. And I know that Bitcoin right now looks, if you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, it looks like it's got a double bottom. But hear me out, man. Trust when I tell you, Bitcoin's been very tricky recently. Absolutely mischievous, okay? You get a lower low, it's like you're breaking out of this range. As soon as you break out, boom, then you're moving up higher, right? You stop here, it's like you're going down. You get a higher high. As soon as you think that you're going to break out and go up to the upside here, see a standard retracement from a high to a low. I have a purpose, I promise. Get up higher, right? You found resistance at the 382. You consolidated. You should be pushing to the golden ratio, but you didn't. Got back below the 236. You should be going lower, but you didn't. Came up here, broke above the 382 after finding support at the 236. You should go to the golden ratio, but you didn't. Now you've got a double bottom here on the 1 hour RS or on the 1 hour time frame. You should be finding support, right? But you won't. You've got lower prices to go. And anybody looking at the Bitcoin liquidations over the last day, you'll see, or the liquidation map, I should say, you'll see that the shorts have it. All right, there's a lot more shorts than there are longs. But if we go to the last 30 days, there's a mountain of longs right here at 115K. And if you think about it logically, when these longs get cleared out, just like a short squeeze causes the price to pump, because shorts push the price down when they open up a short, right? It's a selling thing. But when they close, they have to buy back, and they buy back a lot because it's all marginalized, right? It's all margin traded. Anyways, they buy back. I don't know the proper word for it, but it's on margin, so they have to buy back what they put in plus what's on margin. There's massive buying that comes in. That's why short squeezes are so powerful. But a long squeeze is the same thing except the opposite direction. You clear these out, the longs, when they close, they have to sell. Whether they're liquidated or they're taking a loss, they have to sell. So if you think about it this way, this mountain kind of stops at about 115K. That's $4 billion almost in longs. There's one little peak over here at about 114K. I would assume that as we go down, these longs will get pushed back. There will be more over here in this 114K area. And of course, where the peak is, we'll probably push through that. Now, Are we going to go to 114K exactly on BTC USD? Maybe, maybe not. The CME gap can fill, and by the way, the gap, if it were to fill, is all the way down here, right? It's at about 113.8K. The CME gap can fill, and Bitcoin doesn't need to go to 114K. Bitcoin could go below 114K, and the CME gap could still fill here and find higher prices, right? They're not like tit for tat the same, right? 117.4K now, 117.1K right here, right? They're not exactly the same, but I would assume, and just because it's higher now doesn't mean that it'll be higher there, right? Just like it doesn't necessarily have to fill the gap where it closed. It can just partially fill the gap. You don't need to go all the way down here, but typically if we look at these gap fills, typically, not always, like look, there's a gap right there that never got filled. But here, whenever this gap got filled, if you put a line right here where the closing price was, you went right to that area to fill it, right? That gap clearly got filled. I don't need to reiterate that one. This gap here on a closing basis, you went through that, right? You went through it. Here on a closing basis, you went through it. Here you did not fill it really at all. So here you had a partial fill. You pulled back into it, but you didn't fill the gap completely. Here you went through it. It's any man's guess, any woman's guess. Shout out to the ladies. But I would think that we do go down to about 114K because, again, looking at these liquidations, there's a lot going on around here, man. There is a lot going on around here. I wonder what the heat map says. The heat map, I don't know what to trust more. I feel like the liquidation map is easier to comprehend. Personally, I feel like it is. Because if we look at the heat map, if it would just load for me. We're going to do the last 30 days too, the last month here. Let's see. Load for me. I don't want to turn on the performance. We're going to turn on the performance. We're going to make it a little bit louder. You're going to hear the computer breathe a little bit there. Oh, we're loading. We're loading. So if you look at this here, are we on the 1 month? Okay, I was about to say that looked like the 1 day. Right here on the 1 month, there's a lot of liquidations happening right there, just about 115K. Do we push through and go to 114K? You know, it doesn't look like there'd be much reason to do that. But as time goes on, maybe there will be more longs piled in as we go down. I don't know. But I would expect that we at least do go down to about 115K, okay? Looking at this here on a daily time frame, looking at this here, it looks to me like we're breaking out, right? Before yesterday happened, we had this kind of upward sloping support line here, and we're breaking out to the downside. With that, I would absolutely think that we go below this low. We really shake out the markets, right? We freak people out, make them think that it's going lower. If we take a low to a high here, filling that gap, the CME gap here at about 114K, the minimum target's 114.3K here, the maximum target, the golden ratio, is at 112.6, okay? And if I'm wrong, guys, first off, if I'm wrong, we don't go that low, cool, fine, okay, right, whatever. But if we go lower than that, that could be bad. That could be really bad, right? Because there's a lot of positive news, right? I know that there's not, as far as indicators go, and this is what makes me think that the bull market is still on and it's not over, is that as far as like cycle ending indicators go, we're not getting any of them flashing yet. But whenever it comes to sentiment, and coin market cap is not the best judge of sentiment right now. It says 68, right, on the fear and greed index. I wouldn't count that as sentiment. If you're on x.com and you're just using your eyeballs, people are floored, man. They're through the roof with this. Look at that, 67 now after today, after dropping a little bit maybe. They're literally through the roof with the price action. And maybe not so much today, but they're literally euphoric. It seems like everybody's euphoric. And what's happened is we've had this really good news, really good developments with crypto regulation. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to dump into the 22nd because there's a report of the regulation coming out on the 22nd. I'm assuming there's going to be something negative in that report on the 22nd that's being dropped by whoever, by the crypto admin and the Trump administration. I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but just hear me out, man. I think that the 22nd, because there is something, right? There's something going on the 22nd. Let me see here. Crypto report on the 22nd of July. Let's just type this in and see. White House to release first crypto policy report, July 22nd, outlining U.S. digital asset regulatory framework under executive order. So buy the hype, sell the news, right? That's what it is. But we're dropping. People front run the news. They always front run the news. And if we're moving down into this, right, it's 2 days away. I guess it's 1 day away now. It's tomorrow on Tuesday. perhaps there's going to be something in that report that's negative, that's not positively received with the markets. So I would think that today and tomorrow we probably drop. But then, just like on good news, whenever you sell the news on negatively perceived news, you buy the news, essentially, right? Sell the news on negative, on positive, buy the news on negative. I don't know how much sense that makes, but in essence, the insiders will front run the market's reaction, and then by the time everybody hears the news, reads the news, and they're like, oh, this is terrible, this is bad, well, it's already priced in, and then boom, we move up, because guess what? All the good news that people were celebrating before we actually had this move down, it's still relevant. All the good things about Bitcoin without government or institutions, it's still relevant. Everything about crypto that's going up, and that the fact that we're in the bull market and none of these bull market indicators have signaled that we're at the top, are still relevant. None of it's going to matter. And I was talking about this 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, I forget. I was talking about this, I think it was yesterday, where we're going to make a move down. Okay, here, let me delete all this stuff, actually. We're going to make a move down. Everybody's so bullish right here. We're going to make a move down, and then we're going to come back up like that. It's going to be super fast. And then up here at the exact same price, notice the difference, right? You remember yesterday? You remember the day before? You remember the last 2 days? How bullish X.com was, how bullish everyone on YouTube was, how I feel like everybody's just ecstatic about the markets, right? It was like people were more ecstatic here than they were up here. And I'm just making a point of this because this is my third bull cycle. I've been there before. I've seen this happen before, and it felt ominous. I literally used those words. I said ominous yesterday or the day before. I forget when I made that video. I think it was last night, if not 2 days ago. But I said, you'll notice that at this price now, people are euphoric. And then once we make this exact same price again, once after the drop we come back up here, you're going to notice hesitation. You're going to notice people are less euphoric, less bullish, and that's exactly the attitude we need, the vibe we need to move up higher. I don't know how much sense that makes, but I hope I'm making sense. I know I have a way with my words, guys, to where it don't make sense. Some people in the comments, they were like, it could go up, it could go down. You don't know what you're talking about. And then I'll also have people who say, you were right. We got a shakeout. We're moving down. So it's like some people understand what I'm saying. Some people are just incapable of comprehending what I'm saying, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe they're just trolls, more likely. But all I'm trying to say is very simply, and I feel like I make it very clear if I ever dart off, if I ever get confusing, very simply, I think that we have lower to go. I don't think that we're going to go higher. I think that if this was a double bottom with how bullish Bitcoin is right now, with how bullish the environment is, if this was a double bottom, I think we'd be having a more positive reaction here. But we'll see. I mean, it's still early in the day. There's still a lot of time left, but it's also early in the week. It's very early in the week. And if we were to see lower prices, it would happen now. It wouldn't happen later in the week. So I'm thinking today and tomorrow we dump. We would dump, move down like 4%, if not like 3%. And then the rest of the week we move back up, and we'll probably see prices back above 120K by the end of this week. That would be my guess. Okay, looking at this on the 1 hour time frame here. Okay, again, you got a double bottom here that's not double bottoming, at least not in my opinion. That was a lot of volume. It looks like a lot of volume, right? But if you go on the 1 minute time frame, that volume was selling, guys. That was a massive amount of selling pressure. There was not so much volume on the way up. In fact, every little spike of volume that you're getting, other than this one here, every single one of these things is red, selling candles on the 1 minute time frame. 1 minute is straight degenerate. We're not going to look at that for too long. 1 hour time frame, though, looking at this here, the RSI is getting toward the oversold zone. If you notice, take notice here that the last time that we got into the oversold zone right here, okay, did we bottom out? No, we were close, but we had some time left. And maybe it's like this. Maybe we just move down for the next 4 hours, and then that's it. Maybe we move down a little bit over the next 4 hours, over the next 8 hours, move down, and then we move up. We find resistance, then we move back down, and that's where we find our low, and then we move up. And by the time that happens, maybe it's Tuesday or something. I don't know. And then we move on up. The 1 hour MACD, which did cross above the zero, that was giving me some hope that we'd have some movement to the upside. It's looking like a rejection. And I've said this before, that the rejection is just like support here. You found support at the zero. You can go just below it. Here you found resistance. Notice what happened here, right? When you did this exact same move, but to the opposite effect. Okay, notice what happened here. First off, you didn't stop right here. You kept going. You kept going. Look at the price, right? You went deeper. You saw a higher high, right? Are we going to see a lower low? I would think so. Are we going to see a lower low than where we were here? I think so, right? Look at my cat. There he is. He's a good boy. and the MACD will likely continue to drop back down. I would think maybe we have a higher low here in the oscillators, but I would think that we do continue to go lower, guys. That's my perceived outcome here. Stochastics look like they're getting bearish. We haven't been oversold yet, but it looks like we're going to get oversold. I know the RSI looks like it's rejecting the oversold zone, but man, if we close this 1 hour red and we got 27 minutes left, we'll see if we do. Then that rejection off the oversold zone actually looks like it was a false signal. We had that same thing happen here, and then we did actually bounce off of it. If we get into the oversold zone, you guys, I think that for the hours to come, maybe overnight, we actually do dump a little bit more. But we'll see. We'll see. If we do move up from here, understand that I'm still bearish down to about 115, 114K. Do we have to go to 114K exactly? No. Can we stop at 115K or higher than that? Yes. Could that be the low? It's possible. I just don't think it is, though. I personally don't think it is. I think that we've broken out. We broke this trend line here, right? And not that it's important, who cares? But we broke out of this. We're back testing it for resistance, and we're going to continue going lower. That's my thoughts. How much lower are we going to go? That's a good question. But again, I think 115, 114K. We've got a little bit of consolidation over here, 113.8, 113K itself. We could go all the way back down to 112K, you guys. It's any of that's possible. And don't be afraid if we do. If we go down to 112K, understand it's going to be fast, and it's going to be over just as fast. By the end of the week, we're going to come back. But I wouldn't. I'm not calling for 113 to 112K. I would not be surprised if we got there. I also wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get below 115K. I would, but something lower. I would be surprised if this was the low. Okay. Just because I'm addressing all the possibilities or the options that we have before us and saying that I don't necessarily cling to any strict thought exactly. If I clinged to anything, it would be 114 to 115K, probably right there around 114K, even just below 114K. Just because I say that doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about, or oh, it could go up, it could go down. You're not listening, or you have poor comprehensive capabilities, right? I'm just giving you the possibilities, because if I do say this, if I come on here, understand this one's for the trolls or the haters or the smart asses in the comments who say, oh, it could go up, it could go down, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. This is for you guys, okay? Understand. If I say the price will go right here and bounce, and it did, but then it comes down, people are going to freak the hell out, right? And not that they should. I'm not a financial advisor, or this isn't financial advice, but if I'm on a heater, if I'm correct a good bit of the time, sometimes I go on heaters, sometimes I'm wrong. A good bit of time, dry spells, hot streaks, whatever. But if I'm being correct about something, calling for it to go lower, and then it doesn't bounce where I say it's going to bounce, and it goes down here, and I've got somebody who's a novice or in their first cycle, and they're looking to me to tell them what I think about the markets and where it's going to go. If it goes lower, I'm just speaking from personal experience because I've been there. When it goes lower than that price, it scares the hell out of you. So I always say, I'm like, if it goes lower, who cares? It's not a big deal, right? We're still overall bullish. We are still overall, by the end of August, moving up to 180K. That's still happening. But look at this, guys. We're moving down a little bit. I'm just telling you. I don't think it's over yet. You think you're getting off easy? You think you're getting off easy, longs? We got some hot heat liquidations coming up, baby. It ain't stopping there. Look at where that liquidation was, and we ripped right through it. You see what I mean? Like, that was a short squeeze. When the shorts closed, they had to buy. That added to the buying pressure. Yeah, sure, if you're looking at the last day, okay, the shorts have it. It would make a lot of sense to move up from here. And maybe we do a little bit, but we're still going to go down. You look at the last 30 days, though, you get the conglomerate of shorts and longs. There's a mountain of longs here at 115K to get closed out, guys. $4 billion. To get to $4 billion, we got to get to 121K. We're at 117K right now. Which way is quicker, right? We got 4K one direction to get 4 billion, or 2K one direction to get 4.2 billion, and honestly probably even more by the time that we get down there, because I would expect more longs pile on. People are going to try to catch the knife, as it were. I'm going to try to catch the knife myself. We'll see if it works, but you got to be careful. And you can't set yourself up for a position where if we do drop to like 112K or lower that you get liquidated, because we can drop down there, but we would still come back. We would absolutely still come back. This guy is ridiculous. Do you see him? You guys see him? That's Mufasa. He's a good boy. He doesn't do this throughout the day. It's just here. It's just right now. This is the only time of day that he comes up here to do this. 4-hour time frame looks bearish. We are just crossing below the zero here. Okay, we're just crossing. We're rejecting the zero on the 1-hour time frame, and we are just crossing below the zero on the 4-hour time frame. This move, trust when I tell you, is just getting started. Okay, it looks like you had bullish divergence, and it's going away. You're actually building bearish momentum. This move is just getting started. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a long, multi-month, drawn-out thing, but at least, you know, we're on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame. It'll at least be the next couple of days. If not, maybe even this whole week. Maybe even this whole week. But I don't think this week will be as negative at the end of the week as it might seem over the next couple of days, if that makes sense. People might get freaked out. Don't get freaked out, okay? Don't get freaked out. Whenever the low of this week comes in, you're going to hear, just like we did 2 days ago over the weekend, how you heard all this bullish narrative, all this stuff, you guys, that made you want to call your grandma, your best friends, and be like, get into Bitcoin, get into crypto now, all this stuff, and now the market's dumping. You're going to hear that same stuff, but to the opposite effect when we're at the lows. The bull market might be over. We've had our high. This is not good, you guys. Oh, this could really be catastrophic for crypto and Bitcoin. This is bad. This isn't what we want to see. You're going to hear whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but we're going to hear some negative news. And mark my words, it's going to come out at or around the bottom. If you're new to the markets and you're untrained in the ways of your emotional capacity, it will get to you. Don't let it get to you. Understand, if you get emotional, you're going to make the wrong decision, right? I like to do it like this. You got a guy who invests and there's no emotions involved. You got a guy who he invests or trades and it's all emotions. Who's going to make money? Who's going to lose their ass, right? It's simple. Don't invest, don't trade with emotion. In fact, if you feel emotion, it's okay. You're a human being. You're going to feel emotion. You don't act on it, though. Anytime I act on it, I get screwed up, man. It happens to all of us, okay? It happens to all of us. But you got to temper yourself and at least be aware of it. At least be aware of it, because then you won't be so screwed up if it happens. But I don't really think I have anything else I want to say, guys. If you're looking at it here, it kind of looks like a diamond top. What's up with Bitcoin and these diamond tops? I say kind of. It is a diamond top, man. Look at that. Look at that right there. It is a perfect diamond. Diamond tops, when they break out, are known for high velocity moves. Okay? If this is a diamond top, I think it is, the way you'd measure this, you take a high to a low, and you put it at the breakout point. Breakout point would be basically right here, not at the top. It'd be like right there where that trend line was, right there. I might even be shaving it a little bit. Let's put it like right there. That would take us all the way down to about 111K, a little bit lower. Now, the great thing about diamond tops is you don't have to see the measure move. In fact, they're notorious for doing something like this, where you break out and then you flip back up and you reverse directions, or you reverse course, okay? They're notorious for this exact thing. They're very volatile patterns. As they are inside the pattern, they are outside the pattern too. But high velocity is what we're looking for, okay? I really genuinely wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, guys, if Bitcoin's down at 111K or lower, we're still in a bull market. That's just the measure move of this bearish pattern. We go down there, whatever, who cares? It's all good. It's all gravy. Look, let's see. If we tie up these lows, I didn't mean, you know what, I suck at drawing straight lines. Let's do this. If I had a regular mouse, I would be able to do it. Okay, that's not going to work. We're not going to go into the end of July to get there, no. So maybe what I would think happens is we probably do break below this, okay? And that's at about 114K. We probably break below this. All hope is gone. Bitcoin broke its structure. We're effed in the you-know-what. And then we move up. That's what happens, right? And then we move up. I doubt that we see the measure move come to fruition, but if we do, just understand we could go below 111K. If this diamond pattern performs how most diamond patterns perform, I would expect high velocity move with a serious pullback through the breakout point, okay? Also at a high velocity. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Oh, and the weekly time frame is super bullish, because if we can close this week green, you guys, look at what we've done, okay? We're out of the overbought zone right now, but if we can come back and close this week green or neutral, we will bounce right off the overbought zone, because this is where the week is now, but where the week just closed, it was right there. It was right there at the overbought zone. You guys, getting overbought, bouncing off it, that is such a prime setup, and it's no coincidence. These market makers know what they're doing. We're gonna have a fantastic time after this week, okay? But this week might just be a little bit bumpy first, okay? I'm gonna play you a song now. I don't know what song to play. What song should I play? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I need some water too. Let's see. I'm nervous. Y'all make me nervous, and I like that. All right. Let's see. Maybe some Jack Johnson banana pancakes. Right? Let's get it. Well, can't you see that it's just raining? Ain't no need to go outside. Just to maybe hardly even notice when I try to show you the song is meant to keep you from doing what you're supposed to. Waking up too early, maybe we could sleep. Make you banana pancakes, pretend like it's the weekend now. Or we can pretend it all the time. But can't you see that it's just raining? There ain't no need to go outside. I'm not gonna play the whole song. My daughter's trying to sleep and shit, you know, so. Anyways, it's been a while since I busted out the old guitar. Shout out to Paulo. He's my biggest fan whenever it comes to the guitar. Love you, Paul, if you're watching this. Hit the like button, you guys. Thank you all. Take care. I'm gonna open up a Rockstar YouTube channel. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Bye-bye.